Y'all just love exploiting black people, don't you? Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, hi, my name is Zhariya Smith, and I typically make commentary videos just like this one, and I occasionally make reviews on films if I so feel like it, and that happens to be one of those days. Happy Wednesday if you're watching this when I post it. I'm just gonna address the elephant in the room really quickly. I'm very sick. Like, I don't know if you can tell within my voice or how I look, but yeah, I'm quite sick. I tested negative for the big vid, but I think that's a lie. I think the CDC is actively gaslighting me as we speak. But I've been in isolation for the past couple days, and because I've been in isolation, I am very bored. Oh, also, I have like a lot of brain fog. So if I don't make any sense, I'm sorry, and I will try to, we'll get through this together. But a couple months ago, if you guys remember, there was this movie trailer that came out from BET, which BET, aka Black Evil Television, if that's a Boondocks reference. So if you get it, then that's great. But so this movie came out titled Karen, and Karen basically is the premise that white women just love harassing black people. Who would have thought, you know? And this film, I think, technically is supposed to be a dark crime dramedy thriller directed by Coke Daniels. Imagine having your name Coke. I'm trying to make jokes right now, but my head feels like it's in a bowl of soup. I don't know if Karen's main demographic was supposed to be 18 to 24-year-old black girls, but that's what they got. But the thing that's interesting about this film is that it actually stars Taryn Manning, and I love Taryn Manning ever since Crossroads. She's a great actress. This movie's acting was quite literally like, and like, I don't even want to say that it's the actor's fault. I think it's more so the script's fault for making it so cringy. But basically the premise is that Malik and Imani move into a new neighborhood called Harvey Hill Plantation, which, like, honestly, if you're a black person, why would you move anywhere that has the word plantation in it? I don't know. But basically they move into this new house in the suburbs. They used to not live in the suburbs, but they're a young black, strong black couple, which pissed me off so much. Like, literally every 5 seconds Malik would be like, "You're just a strong, independent black woman," and she's like, "And you're a strong, manly black man." And I'm like, bro, if a man called me a strong black woman to my face multiple times, I'd have to hit him. And I don't even do domestic violence, but like, something would have to be done about that. They're greeted by their neighbor Karen, who seems very friendly, doesn't really seem like the racist type, but we soon learn that she's quite racist. And her name's Karen Drexler. And soon I think the woman becomes angry, jealous, bitter, a whole line of things. And I will say the cast is a very good cast. I think it was a good movie in the sense that I sat and watched the whole thing through. But what's the Rotten Tomatoes score, actually? Yeah, see, Rotten Tomatoes rated it 18%, and the audience score is 22%. Like, I know that the ratings go that low, but that's, like, I can agree with that. Actually, I'd say it's very much a 25% like good movie, you know? I think that there were like good premises, good like thoughts to like want to expand on, but I think that this film did a really bad way with that. And I think it's because BET like hasn't been owned by like black people in like years. Yeah, and Coke Daniels is the same man that decided to make Gangsta Rap, the Glockumentary. So I wouldn't say this film has like a good backing behind it, I will say. But I have a lot to unpack with this. I guess I can kind of tell you the plot. Basically, they move in. Karen starts slowly harassing them. She has a racist cop brother. Love when this mucus is just pouring out of my soul. But then basically by the end, do y'all care about spoilers? I guess I'll put like spoiler alert on the screen, and you can do a timestamp to skip if you care that much. But basically in the end, the police officer tries to frame the husband Malik for having like weed on him when he didn't. He planted it on him, and then the sister Karen tries to literally murder Imani. And you want to know who the savior in this film? Can you take a good guess on who's the savior in this film? A police officer. Now, for reference, this may seem like, oh, okay, well, cops are good. I just want to tell you that this film starts out with the words Black Lives Matter, like written in chalk. Can you tell my brain is just fuzzy? Written in like chalk on like the pavement, and we see Karen pouring bleach water over it to then get rid of the chalk. This is Black Lives Matter. So that's encompassing what this film feels like to me. And I could, be reading into it too much. I know it looks like right now, but I just wanted to say there was this really weird scene where there was like a housewarming party, and they were talking about how like another black child got like murdered by the police, and Karen goes, well, all lives matter, and it's being like, oh, well, if they're not complying with the police, then they are the ones that are at fault. And it was kind of like very yucky to me. And I know that's like the mentality of a lot of people who believe in all lives matter or think Black Lives Matter is like wrong, but it was just really yucky and I didn't like it. But I think that a film that's supposed to focus on Black Lives Matter and focusing on how Black people are horribly treated and when they move to the suburbs. I'm a Black person that lives in suburbia currently, so I feel like I can say this, but like it's living in the suburbs is very, I don't want to say racist, but like racist. If I were to literally walk my dog 2 blocks, I would see multiple Trump 2024 signs this time, and also Trump 2020 signs. I would see Confederate flags. I would see things that very much say I don't like Black people throughout my neighborhood. So I can honestly understand like the whole premise of, oh, Black people move to the suburbs and the suburbs don't want them there. Like I get that 1000%, but I also think that this film does it really bad because like obviously not all your neighbors are going to go to the lengths that Karen does by far. Oh my gosh. And also I think like halfway through the film, Karen is harassing a group of Black kids for being in the park when one of the kids is literally in the neighborhood, like he lives there, and his dad happens to be a civil rights attorney for situations of police brutality and all that stuff, and he's like, you don't know who my dad is, because racial discrimination and all that stuff. And they have like the videos that were circulating, they kind of still are, but like of like Karen's harassing young Black teenagers, and it's like the little vertical videos like, these guys are attacking me, and oh my god, I feel so threatened, and like all that stuff. Yeah, that was in the film. And I think that while I understand that this movie is based off of a meme, the Karen meme, I also think that this just was not, I feel like we could have lived our lives without this movie. And also she's like, I'm gonna speak to the manager, to call the manager on a group of Black people. And I think that this is another thing that I feel like that the Coke Daniels or the people making this film didn't understand, and it's that Karens are not just racist. In fact, I reckon food service, well, we'll see, but right now I'm not. But I have a day job. I work as a barista. We love that for me, and I come across a lot of Karens, and I would say, oh my god, I would say that the only customers that are racist that I get are people that are not, regulars, and they're typically men, typically not white. So take with information what you will, but I think that this film does a bad thing of like not fully understanding, like they gave her like a whole sob story about like, oh well, I lived during the crack epidemic and a Black person moved in and then suddenly your neighborhood was ridden with crack, and I'm like, whoa,
how a bummer.
That sucks. Too bad.
There are some Karens who need to be off the streets, that's for sure. But there are some Karens that are simply just untreated, unwell. So fight unkindness with kindness.
White people have done a lot of stuff to me, and I've never been like, I hate every single white person. Asian people have done stuff to me, and I'm like, I don't hate every single Asian person. Like, so I don't understand that logic, but also that is racist logic. So, and I'm not racist, so it could just be that. But this film just very much feels like it's doing nothing for like an hour, and the film is like an hour and like 30 minutes. So like I feel like the film just pacing was not well executed, and And there's just so many things that I could talk about, like the fact that they, like, the Malik and Amani were, like, going to, like, have intercourse with each other, and they didn't have blinds yet because they just moved into the house, and Karen's son was, like, obsessively looking, and the mom caught him and then started looking, and she was, like, biting her lip, and I'm like, I don't know, is that, like, a commentary on white people's fetishization of black bodies? I don't know, could be. Or it could just be me reading too far into that. There also was a really funny scene that I actually, like, sat back and started burst out laughing, and I couldn't tell if it was supposed to be serious or it was supposed to be a joke, but basically, like, Karen knocks over Amani's trash and she thinks it's a stray dog, and she's picking up the trash, and Karen's daughter comes by and she's talking to Amani. She's like, yeah, I have a boyfriend and he's black, and Karen and Amani's like, oh my god, do you like, does your mom know about that? And she's like, no, my mom would freak out. And then Amani's like, oh, well, why? And oh my god, this girl goes, well, my mom doesn't like black people. And Amani goes, well, I'm black. And she goes, yeah, she doesn't like you. And that was, like, the funniest thing I feel like I've seen, like, in the past, like, month. Like, truly, like, I was fully, like, laughing in my bed. Like, I had to pause and I had to, like, go and pee to come back, because, like, that's how funny it was to me. But I couldn't tell if it was supposed to be a joke or not, because, you know, who knows. But yeah, I also want to briefly talk about the evil cop. What was his name? Officer Hill, played by Brandon Sklenar. I will say, Brandon, if you're watching this, you're a great actor. I truly wanted to fight you. So, I mean, I would say that's good acting, you know, but I think that the character in general was really just, like, so aggressively, like, bad cop that it was like a joke. Like, it felt like a gimmick of the show, like, oh, the bad police officer, and then his rookie who's the good police officer. And I think that one of the biggest things that a lot of people in the Black Lives Matter movement feel is that all cops are not the best. And I think that this film, that is main focus is Black Lives Matter, it's interesting to me that they decided to have a good cop that was, like, trying to, you know, and the good cop was the one that saved the day, like a police officer was the one who saved Amani. And this is kind of another spoiler alert, so I'll put it on the screen. I can say skip, but basically Karen breaks into Amani's home and tries to murder her, and they call the police because shots fired, and, you know, that's typically what happens whenever. So the police get there, and Karen's brother knows, oh, this is Karen's neighbor's house, you, me, Ricky, let's go. And I just want to say that if this were a situation to where the people did not know each other, like, obviously the brother is going to know that that's Karen's neighbor. They had a whole elaborate plan to kick them out of the neighborhood. But I'm like, any normal officer, I don't even want to say normal, but that's just how they're trained, and that's, like, what people see. But if they were to see a white woman with a gun and a black woman in the house all beaten up, they would immediately arrest the black woman. Am I wrong? Like, so it's very interesting to me that it's like, oh, the police came in, but suddenly Karen's the one that gets caught and Karen's the one that gets, like, shot, you know? Because I'm like, in reality, you and I both know that it would be Amani who would have gone to prison, like, for sure. Like, and then also the fact that the police officer was dead, she get done for the police officer too. That's just like, oof, I can't breathe. I'm so dramatic. That's just, like, the thing, you know. I think that this film in general, a lot goes on, and I think that this film premise could have been a lot better. I feel like if it would have had more time. This was filmed during the pandemic, 2020. They even mention it in the show because Amani's like, I don't want to have kids because the world's messed up, you know, in that scene. I act like you've seen this movie. If you have, let me know your opinions on it. Genuinely, I feel like I wasted a good chunk of my time watching it, but I guess I did get content out of it, so, you know, at least I get money out of this. Like $2. But yeah, the Karen movie, would I recommend it to you? No. I feel like if you want to sit and laugh sure, watch it. But just my fuzzy sick brain thought this movie was hilarious, but like for all the wrong reasons. It wasn't scary to me. Like right now I'm taking a class on horror films, so it's really funny to me seeing like how this film did not serve as a horror film, but I guess it's supposed to be a dramedy thriller, whatever that means. Yeah, I guess that's my video. I'm really sick, but I felt good, well, better today. Like I felt like I could like sit. It's also like 3 o'clock in the morning, so, but I felt a little bit better. So I was like, oh, let me just film a video because I want you guys to have content. I didn't want to just be like, I'm sick and then not post, because I like posting. And if I don't do anything during this isolation, I might go insane. If you hear my voice, you can tell I'm actually quite sick, and I don't allegedly have the vid, though I believe I do, but I got 2 negative tests, so I don't know. But yeah, I forgot my outro. If you guys like that, make sure to give it a thumbs up because it helps channels such as mine. You can also subscribe down below if you like me, please. Let me know your opinions on the bisexual lighting. I've been trying out new lighting stuff because I got a new ring light and I'm obsessed. Like, I've been trying out new stuff. Also, if you like this background, let me know. I did it on my last video. If you haven't watched it, please do. That video actually didn't get a lot of impressions on it, which makes me believe that YouTube did not push it, which kind of sucks. But please watch my last video. It's a video essay, so it's really long, but I worked like 2 weeks on that video, so I'd appreciate it if you guys watched it. But that's my video. Make sure to stay happy, stay healthy, and stay safe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye. I don't know why I just did a peace sign. That's so lame. Bye.